And welcome back to round 2 of the Basingstoke locals. Here we are rolling for high roll, and let's get into the game. So on the left we have Fftcg running mono ice. On the right we have Gareth Statham with the 3-colour lightning deck, which you would have seen in the last game. Okay, so I believe Fftcg has chosen to go first. Draw 1. Pitching a Renoa to play into an Armourer. Unfortunately no value on that, but it's a 2 cost. We need those backups. Discarding to play into a Lady of Antiquity. Again, reduces the cost to play your lightning forward X-Death, and also can cost any colour for mannequins. Fftcg playing into a Minwu to be able to freeze that back up, and then pitching one and playing a Kefka. I cannot understate the value of the Kefka card in mono ice. To be able to dull and freeze something every other turn, so valuable. Great card, great include for any mono ice deck. Now we see Gareth Statham ditch 2, playing into a Tumbry Cactuar. Let's see, so he gets to choose one of the 2 following actions. So he's going to look at the 2 top of his deck, add one of them among him to his hand, return the other to the bottom of the deck, and then playing into a Delusionally Warlock, which again is going to search for 1-drop mannequin other than lightning, add it to his hand, and I imagine he will search for another Lady of Antiquity, which he has. Again, this card also reduces the cost of lightning X-Death. Whether we'll see it this game or not is to be seen. And pitching a lightning to play the 2nd Lady of Antiquity. Back over to Fftcg, tapping 3, playing into a G deleter, so he'll be able to draw a card, and because he controls 4 ice backups, he will be able to dull and freeze a character of his choice. He chooses the lightning, obviously to make the colour costing harder, and then warps in a Theodore. Right, we're back over to Gareth Statham. He's quickly just checking out the break zone there, so I imagine, yes, we're going to see Irvine. So he's going to remove 2 characters from Matthew's break zone, giving Irvine the buff and haste. Switching for combat, going to remove the other 2 characters. And we see 2 points of damage we see there. Okay, remove 1 walk counter off of Theodore. And back to Fftcg. So here we see tap 3, playing into a Jill, opting to dull and freeze the Irvine. Tapping 1 and discarding a Matthias, going to prime that Jill into a Shiva to break those 2 forwards. Will we see anything else this turn? No, and we pass turn back to Gareth. So I see Gareth holding the Tyro, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tyro to search him into something else, something that's going to give him a bit more of a presence on the board. Just checking out the limit break. Okay. Just taking his time here. Yes, no, yes, no. He is facing a pretty challenging board. Yeah, so he plays into the Tyro, which is going to allow him to search for any forward, I believe. And to his hand, he opted to search for the new Opus 24 Lightning. This is the Lightning that when he's blocked or is blocking or blocked, you can return it to its owner's hand and break the blocking forward. Or sorry, remove it from the game, not break. And he chooses to, yes, reveal that Lightning. I think I'm just discussing Lightning's ability here before going into combat phase. So we see tap 2. We're going to play down a Shinryu, which allows you to buff a forward by 4k if you control 5 ice backups, which he does, and tapping Kefka to dull and freeze that Lightning to get her out the way to swing in for those points of damage. As I said, that Kefka is just, yeah, he's something else. Now I'm back in the limit break, see what we got. So I tap in 3. And we see a Leo. It's going to allow him to draw a card. And pass turn. Back over to Matt. Swinging with Shiva. And we hit an Odin. This is the new Opus 24 Odin. Choose one forward opponent controls and break it. Remove as many cards from the top of your deck from the game as the CP required to cast the chosen forward. And looks like he's opting not to activate the EX. And then we see Kusith is going to bring him a forward or a backup back from his break zone. And we see a Billy Bob, which is a great choice when you're trying to get more forwards back onto your field. Matt here's tapping forward, discarding an Emina, playing into a Kate Sith. So when Kate Sith enters the field, if you control 5 or more ice backups, you freeze all the backups opponent controls, and your opponent discards 1 card. Here we can see Gareth checking his break zone because he's probably thinking about playing that Billy Bob and just thinking about what he can bring back. A lot of deliberation and thinking. Dipping back into that limit break. So yeah, it looks like he's going to pitch 2. Oh, sorry, pitch 3. Play the Une. So choose one forward opponent controls and up to 1 backup opponent controls. Return them to their owner's hand. Personally, I think I would have opted to return the Shiva because I think it would have sent it out of game. Kefka back in, so that's going to dull Une on entry. Swinging with Katesith for 5th point of damage, and swing with Shiva, taking Gareth to 6 points, tapping 1, and pitching 1 to play Jill to dull and freeze the Une. And I think they've just realised here that Jill legally can't be on field. Shiva and Jill can be on field together, but because the Shiva that's on field now was primed from a Jill, they carry the same name, so it's an illegal play. As you can see, they took it back. Okay, so here we see pitching 2 to play Camlanaut, who's going to deal 2,000 damage for each ice backup. So that's 10k. That's going to see Une gone. So, yeah, it looks like it was passed back to Gareth. Of course, oh yeah, of course, because we were main phase 2 for the Camlanaut. Okay, so he's ditched 1, tap 1 to play Garnet. When Garnet enters the field, choose 1 summon in your break zone, add it to your hand. When she enters the field due to warp, choose 1 summon in your break zone, add it to your hand. So, yeah, he's just a hard cast Garnet. And now imagine we will see that Billy Bob. You're probably looking for Cloud, but realising there was no target for Cloud on Matthew's field. So here we see tap 3, yep, we're going to see Billy Bob come in, and Billy Bob, when he enters field, will choose 1 forward other than name Billy Bob in your break zone and add it back to your hand. And we see pass turn. So here we go. Now we're casting 1 cost Shiva, remove 4 cards from your break zone, choose 1 character, dull and freeze it. If you pay the extra cost, you return the Shiva to its owner's hand. And now we'll see, yeah, we'll see Kefka. Kefka, dull and freeze another, and then breaking Minwu for its ability to dull and freeze something else, and then finally swinging with the Camlanaut, LBC game. So yeah, there's part 2 for you. Part 3 will be up very shortly, probably over the next couple of days, but I'm hoping you're enjoying the content, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks.